Winning. I am winning this Friday. Okay, so hey, it's Friday. Awesome. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to try to make this as fun as possible and as informative as possible. I really, 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 really want you to get something out of this. And if you have any questions, you can just like kind of raise your hand or unmute yourself. Or if you want to wait to the end, that's fine as well. I'm also going to talk to you just at the end of this about the 60-day, I call it a 60-day weight loss challenge. I like to say it's a benevolent bait and switch because people come here wanting to lose weight, and I can certainly help you with that. But where I'm motivated from is like out of a place of like helping women reconnect with themselves, like their true selves, and which I believe is like just light and love and just pure perfection. And so I like to say the winning result of going through one of my programs is that the love that you have for yourself, that you develop for yourself, is unwavering. That you know your worth. Your worth is unshakable, and therefore your confidence is unshakable, and you can do hard things, and you like love and accept all of the parts of yourself, not just the parts that like the parts that are flawless, or the parts that you think are good, but like we really want to embody everything and be able to love all of the parts of ourselves. So that's really what, when you go through my program, that's really what you get. But you also, and like that's the winning result. Like the cherry on top, the bonus result is the weight loss and like the health, right, that you're going to experience. And these are tools that really transfer to all areas of your life. So when I did my training, I'm just going to quickly talk about where I did my training. I trained as a life and weight loss coach. And it was like a really intense training. It was a year long at, I believe, one of the best life coaching schools in the world. It's called the Life Coach School for any of you that are curious. And yeah, the tools here that I learned are invaluable, and it really does transfer over to other parts of your life. So it can transfer over to your relationships and everything. The basis is that all problems are thought problems. Okay? There can't be a problem without a thought. And so when we have extra weight on us, it's really a thought problem, right? And that's how we get to the root of it. And the root is always the thought. So I'll touch more on that later. Right now, we are going to start moving through the rest of this. So let's see next. Okay, perfect. So why overeating is a problem in your life? So this can seem kind of obvious, but for some people it's not. Oh, I just got one more person joining in here. So for some people it's not obvious. Overeating can be a problem because we're thinking about it all of the time. Like, I don't care if you have like 10 extra pounds or 100 extra pounds, right? Like we think about food all of the time. And once we can kind of free that up, we get so much more energy in other areas of our lives, right? Where we can really begin to expand ourselves. So the other reason it's a problem is, you're exhausted from trying things that work only temporarily. The calorie counting, the keto diets, the whatever new diet eating health fad has come in, point counting, and they will work and you'll get a lot of motivation right off the bat, but then it doesn't work. And then you start to feel like it's you, right? Like that you're the one that's the failure, that I guess I can't lose this weight. And then all of those thoughts come in. So another reason it's a problem is it feels like you're eating against your own will, like you have no control over it, and sometimes you might not even realize that you're eating until you've like finished the bag of chips. You've tried willpower and it doesn't work. I'm going to talk more about willpower later in this class. You think that if you could solve this problem, that everything else would fall in place. I love this because it's like, if I was just skinny, my life would be great. Sorry, there's like this little sweet little insect. I don't want to kill it, but I don't want it in my face. That everything else would go away. All my problems would be solved if I was skinny, and so sometimes that sounds like all my problems would be solved if I was making this amount of money. I'm going to tell you, it never works that way. And we'll dive into that a little bit more later. And then also mental health, right? Like our mental health can be suffering when we don't feel like we're in control of our eating or in control of our lives. And also if, we're overweight and we have that, like we don't have that acceptance and love around our bodies. Okay, so today you're going to learn why you're overweight, why you overeat. We're going to look at the role of hormones. We're going to look at false pleasures and dopamine, and why we need to allow, this is my favorite part and I feel the most important, why we need to learn to allow and process our feelings and urges, and why traditional diets or fads don't work for most people. Okay, so even if we never meet again, you are going to learn something from this. But I sure do hope we meet again. I think most of you are in my Facebook group, the Stop Overeating Facebook group. I've also if you're not in it, the Confident Woman Facebook group that I just opened up, and I would love to invite you into that. So if you're interested, let me know. You can let me know in the chat. I can send you the link. Okay, I want you to meet Adrienne. I love Adrienne. She's one of my clients, and with her permission, I'm sharing her story. So Adrienne, I think some of you know Adrienne. She broke her back around 4 years ago, and as a result of that injury, she gained 80 pounds. She had a lot of emotional and physical challenges, and as a result of other things going on in her life as well. So not just the back injury. So when I started seeing Adrienne, it was for life coaching, and she was like, just quickly picked it up, right? And just started putting the tools that I was offering her like in play. She was showing up, she was committed, to making big changes in her life. She just, was kind of happy, but not happy. And, felt like life was kind of happening to her and at her. And she had a pretty quick mindset shift. So then she began expressing interest in my weight loss program. And so we began our journey down that road together. So she sent me this picture 51 days into our coaching program. And not only do I see when I look at this picture and when I see her beautiful face, I still see her every week, noticeable weight loss, but she's a completely different person. Okay, like her transfer, in a sense, I say that with some hesitation because I believe like she's not a different person. She's just more of her person, like more connected with her essence, who she truly is, right? And like the confused thinking, we've untangled so much of the confused thinking that were giving her the results in her life that she didn't want. So she's really like, she just shows up so in charge in her life and taking responsibility for her feelings and her actions. And it's created tremendous results in her weight loss journey. In her business, she's smashing goals in her business. She's an entrepreneur, and even in her family life, like her marriage, it's big shifts in there. So yeah, as you can see, she's just glowing. And I hope you have the chance to meet her in person if you haven't already. She is like dynamite. Okay. So now I want to talk about desire and where it comes from. So you're overweight. We tend to be overweight because we overeat. Seems obvious. We overeat because we over desire. Okay. If you just focused on reducing or resisting overeating, you will not get to the root cause of the problem, which is over desire. Okay. So when we try to cut back on food to lose weight without addressing the issue of desire, we actually increase our desire for food. Because remember at the beginning, I said we're going to talk about willpower. I'm going to touch on it here again. Because willpower it's finite. It's a finite resource. We don't have unlimited amounts of willpower. And because it's finite, this approach, it's not sustainable for most people, right? It takes willpower to like restrain from eating, to not eat the stuff that we love to eat, right? It takes willpower to like stick to a diet, to count calories, to like, you kind of white knuckle it. It doesn't work. Okay, so we need to get to the desire, why we over desire food. So when we eat concentrated foods that unnaturally release dopamine, so dopamine, it's in our brain, okay, we end up with much more desire than we need to sustain ourselves. When we experience, when that happens, we experience an over desire, and our brain creates an unwarranted sense of urgency and in places like a big importance on food, okay? So we over desire food for 3 reasons. First, our neurotransmitters are programmed to desire anything that gives a subtle, let alone a huge dopamine response, okay? And so when we eat concentrated foods, like pop, like just all of the concentrated foods that we eat and drink, it releases large amounts of dopamine. Second, we are being marketed food by experts, like professionals. These are professionals, experts. They know how to market food so that we want it. All day, every day, everywhere we go, we're being marketed to. And third, we don't know how to manage our emotions, so we desire food as a way to escape and not feel, okay? And this is what I mostly coach people on, as well as it's the thought work, as well as the hormonal aspect of it as well. So just as with all feelings, all of our feelings, desire is created with our thoughts, okay? So thoughts that create desire, some examples are, I want that. I deserve that. That's going to taste amazing. I will feel better if I eat that. Or like, I was so good all week. I'm just going to eat whatever I want this weekend. And that's, under the umbrella of I deserve that. So when we create desire with our thoughts and then we reward that desire with food, our desire intensifies. Okay. So this is the ultimate distinction that makes weight loss permanent, when it is completely understood. So we are not attempting to manage our desire for overeating. We are attempting to eliminate it, okay? If you think about it, losing weight would be easy, it would be like so easy if we didn't desire things, right? If we didn't desire the foods and didn't desire to overeat, we could lose weight. So consider this question before you make any attempt to lose weight. Do you want to lose your desire for foods that don't serve you? Are you willing to let it go? And why or why not? Okay. So your answer to this question matters more than any other one that you ask. If you don't let go of your desire to overeat, you're going to have a difficult time keeping the weight off. All right. And I'm going to teach you how to like eliminate that desire. I can't go into it it's bigger than the scope of this class, but I will touch on it a little bit. I really dig into it in my Stop Overeating program. So let's look at the role that hormones play, because this is a part of it, right? Especially like, I don't know, like women, like a lot of women that I see, they're perimenopausal, menopausal, and they're just like, I don't know, it's hormonal. And like, I get you, I am a perimenopausal woman and everything changes. So we're going to look at 3 hormones in particular. So we're going to look at insulin, leptin, and ghrelin. So we'll start with insulin. This is the main hormone, okay? So too much insulin in your bloodstream, it's the primary cause really of today's obesity epidemic. So it's the fat storage hormone, and when it's in our blood, we cannot burn fat. Its job is to deliver glucose from the bloodstream to the muscles for storage as fat. Okay, so when you eat foods that increase your insulin and you eat large quantities of food and you frequently eat, insulin is pretty much always present in your blood, which prevents the body from accessing your stored fat as fuel. All right, so 2 ways to reduce insulin. You can take these home with you now. Very, very effective. Like, this is the way to reduce your insulin. Eat fewer carbs. Okay, I'm not a person, like, I'm not like, oh, don't eat any carbs. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But we want to begin to balance our hormones. And the quickest way to do that, stop eating carbs and eat less often and in reduced amounts. We're going to go into that a little bit more later. Okay, so the second hormone is leptin, and it lets you know when you're hungry. Okay, so just as you can develop an insulin resistance, you can also develop a leptin resistance. So the problem is you won't, when it's out of whack, is you're not going to recognize when you've eaten enough. So you can imagine you just keep eating because like it's not working. It's not saying, hey, stop eating, like you've had enough. So the way to balance leptin is reduce your insulin. Okay. Third hormone, ghrelin. So ghrelin is produced in the stomach and it signals to you when you're hungry. Okay. So like leptin, it's negatively affected by insulin. So when you consume concentrated foods like pop, ghrelin does not recognize the caloric intake, and it will continue to send your body messages that it's hungry. Okay. How do we balance ghrelin? Balancing our insulin. So you can see that's why insulin's at the top. We got to get our insulin under control. Okay. So I love and believe in the power of good questions. So all of my coaching that I do, wherever I show up, I encourage you to ask good questions. So feel free to take a picture of these, write them down, or go back through the webinar recording and spend some time with these. Okay. So like, what do you think about your current hormonal state, right? Do you feel hungry all of the time? Are you tired throughout the day for no reason? Do you suspect that your hormones might be out of whack? Like, these are just, like, you can even just ask these to yourself right now. So people can regulate their hormones by their eating habits. Like, you don't need to go to the doctor. In most cases, I'm not anti-doctor or a medication at all, but you can do the bulk of the work by controlling your eating habits. Okay. So if you eat little to no sugar or flour, your insulin, it's going to drop automatically. Like, it's a very dramatic result. Eliminating snacking will also reduce insulin, which allows your body's sensitivity to the 3 hormones, right, that we talked about, like the ghrelin and the leptin and the insulin, to drop, right? They or not drop, they adjust. Okay. So everything comes back into balance. I'm telling you, everything will come back into balance if you just cut out sugar and flour. Doesn't mean you have to do it for life, but if you suspect that it's your hormones, that's a big part of this, you would want to do this step. Okay, it's not going to feel good. It's hard, but it's totally worth it. And it's the way through. Okay. A lot of times we want to avoid going through and doing the hard work. We want to go around, or we want to kind of like shortcut it. I'm telling you, you can't, right? The only way out is through. And so, but if you don't suspect it's hormones, then this might not be the approach for you. This might not be relevant. Although I do feel we could all like reduce our sugar a little bit more. Also causes a lot of inflammation. So, okay, we're going to talk about allowing feelings and urges. So most of us are not taught to deal with our emotions at all. Some people are like, emotions? What do you mean? Like, when I ask people how they feel, like, they look at me like a stunned rabbit, like, how I feel? What? Do you mean, what am I thinking? So we don't know how to process emotions, and we aren't taught that discomfort is a valued and necessary part of the human experience. Okay? Discomfort is so important. It's the currency to your growth. And your capacity and ability to sit with discomfort, it's like, it directly reflects to the results that you have in your life. Okay. So without sadness, we have no frame of reference for happiness. No one tells us that half of our lives are supposed to be negative emotions. that make positive emotions possible. We are sold this everywhere, especially like Instagram, social media, commercial, before all that, commercials, advertisements, like be happy. The goal in life is to be happy, to like feel good all the time. And when you don't, there's something wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Okay. I'm telling you the truth. There's nothing wrong with you if you're feeling sad or down. It's 50-50. Our work is to learn how to sit and allow and process that discomfort, because your emotions are never going to hurt you. Not feeling them and not processing them, that's what's going to hurt you. That's what drives the behaviors of overeating, over drinking, over shopping, right? Unprocessed emotions, because we're scared of them. We don't want to feel them. Some of us aren't even connected to them. We're so disconnected from our body. So yeah, because we're taught that we should be happy all of the time, we're not taught to welcome these emotions. And again, like we attempt to numb them with or avoid them with food. So to return to your natural weight, okay, you must stop trying to numb or make your emotions better with food. You're like, okay, lady, how? Like, this all sounds great, but give me the know-how. So how do you do it? You learn how to process and allow your emotions, okay? And if you haven't already, I have a mini guide. It's free. If you just go to my website, I'll give it to you at the end. I love the link to both groups. Okay. I will put all of the links on here. If you go to my website, I'm going to put it in the chat. A little box will pop up. Just plug your email in there, and the box it'll allow you to download my mini guide, and it takes you through step by step how to allow and process feelings. And I'll put the Facebook groups in at the end. If I might forget, because I get so into my presentation, just like say it out loud if I haven't done it by the end. Like, hey, Michelle, can you please drop the links to your Facebook groups in there? And I'll do that for you. Okay, so that's where you can get the guide, learning how to process and allow your emotions. So when you do this, the reason this is important is allowing and processing your emotions. One of the reasons it's important is you gain authority over your feelings, okay? You no longer feel like you don't have control of your feelings, of your actions, of your life. So when you resist, react, or avoid those feelings, you suffer. Okay, there's always going to be pain in life. Like there's going to be things that are hard, but suffering is optional, because suffering is created by our thinking and what we're making something mean and what we're thinking about something. Okay, and I'm not saying that to self-blame, like no shame here. I'm not a shamer, not a blamer. We just haven't been taught these things, and our brains are naturally wired to see scarcity and fear and keep us in the cave so we wouldn't get eaten by saber-toothed tigers, right? It's just like, but we have something now. We've developed can you tell I have a background in neuroscience? It's like, it's kind of, I infuse a lot of that with my coaching. So we have the higher executive functioning of our prefrontal cortex, where we can begin to override that. We just need to bring more awareness and use repetition to really dismantle old belief systems that no longer serve us and create new ones. And it's the best thing ever. So, the 4 ways that we deal with feelings: we avoid them, we react to them, we resist them, or we can allow them. I always go with allow. It takes less energy, right? So let's go here. Okay. So I'm going to tell you here how to allow urges and feelings. So an urge is really just a feeling, right? You have an urge to eat something. It's a feeling created by a thought that you're thinking. So how to allow urges and feelings. I want you, when something comes up that's uncomfortable, whether it's anxiety, loneliness, irritability, like whatever it is, right? The first thing I want you to do is like label it if you have a word for it. Okay, you wanna bring awareness to it. Like feel it in your body, where it is in your body. Don't just keep it in your brain. Where am I experiencing this in my body? Okay. So pretend that you're describing what you're feeling in your body to a Martian who has never experienced an urge or a feeling. And then I want you to write it down. Like, after you do this for a while, after you've written it down for a while, you can just go to doing it in your head for the most part, because you've got the sequence, you know how to do it. So I want you to get really descriptive. So like, what does it feel like? Where is it in your body that you feel it? Does it have a color? Is it pulsating? Is it vibrating? Is it hot? Is it cold? Okay, like get as descriptive as you can with the experience. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to observe the experience. So watch how you experience the urge or the emotion as though you were sitting across the room from yourself. Okay, this creates distance between the experience, including the thought that you're choosing. Because remember, the feeling is being created by the thought that you're thinking. And on some level, you are choosing it. And the more work that we do together and around our thinking and bringing our mind, like bringing more awareness to our thinking, you know, you really start to get on top of this. So create that distance and the feeling that it's creating. So you're sitting across the room from yourself, you become the observer. You're looking at yourself having this experience, the feeling and the thoughts that you're choosing, okay? And then hold that urge or emotion in a place of peace, okay? Really like accept the urge and be present with it. Allow it to be there wherever it is in your body, and and then just pretend to like hold it in your hand, or like preciously hold it wherever it is in your body, and approach it with a childlike curiosity. No judgment, right? We don't want to put judgment on it. You know what happens when like you're being judged about something, you kind of shut down, you don't want to express. So we just want to bring that loving compassion and curiosity to it, just like you would a child. Okay. So after, when you're in that space, I want you to open up to the emotion. Okay. Just allow it in. And I want you to like lean into it, like move closer to it. Because our reactions are usually to kind of pull away from the discomfort. We really want to lean into it. And that's all. And I really want you to remember that an emotion is just a vibration in your body. It cannot hurt you or anybody else, but not processing it and allowing it will hurt you. Okay, I think you get the point. I could like go on for 5 days about that. So more questions to ask yourself. So how do you usually respond to an urge? Do you try to resist it? Like really get truthful with yourself, right? Like often in coaching, my clients come like, okay, I want to change my mindset. I want this result. Like, what are the new thoughts I'm going to think? I'm like, no. Like we need to slow down. We need to bring awareness to your belief system that you have now and the thoughts that you're currently thinking. It's like going to clean your house without like seeing what's dirty and needs to be cleaned in your house. Like you have to go through, right? You have to get out the old dirt. Like you have to remove things and be aware of where it is first before we start cleaning it up. Okay. So what do you have urges to eat most? Why do you think that is? And what do you imagine allowing an urge will be like? Allowing your emotions. Like some of us are like, I remember when I came to this work, I was like, I don't know, I don't want to feel my emotions. It seems so scary. And it might be a really big well and a pit that I've fallen in and I never get out. Or I'm going to discover something that's like, I don't know what I was thinking, like something terrible in there, like a monster. I've been to the depths of it. There's no monster, just an illusion. So what can you do today to lose weight? Really simple steps. This is where we start. Ask yourself, am I hungry? If you are hungry, eat. If you are not, don't. And then when you're eating, ask yourself, have I had enough? And then stop when you've had enough. Not when you're full, when you've had enough, okay? And like, well, how do I know? Because like everything's kind of confused right now in my body. So hunger feels like a grumbling in your stomach. Like, you can feel like a real physical hunger. And so it's going to take some practice and it's going to take some awareness and attention to discern between emotional hunger and physical hunger, but you can totally do it. It's just like learning any new thing. It could take a little bit of time, but you don't get your result right when you start doing it. It's like going to the gym, right? And building muscle. So when you're eating, keep checking in and asking, have I had enough? And if so, stop eating. So like I said, having enough is very different from feeling full. If you're bloated, gassy, foggy, tired, you ate way too much. So a good way to start this is just give yourself a smaller portion than what you normally eat. Okay, good, that's it. Please do not dismiss this because it seems so simple. The most simplest things are the most effective. I have seen so many clients just put this in and they've lost weight. Okay, so please do not overlook it. Okay, so the other thing, plan ahead. This is so important. So plan, I want you to plan, like, you can do it like, it's 24-hour food plan. So the easiest way to do it, this does not have to be complicated. Don't spend any more than 5 minutes on it. Sit down in the morning and plan what you're gonna eat for the day, okay? And then write down the things you'd like to eat all day. So these are foods that you enjoy, and you don't put any dieting judgment on yourself and don't be like, well, I should just eat like 5 pieces of salad and a carrot because that's how you diet. We're not dieting. We're going to take that word right out of our vocabulary. You just want to plan, do a food plan. And so it's whatever you enjoy eating. Okay. So put more food in there and more snacks in there than you think you're going to need, because you don't want your mind to go into scarcity and start to feel like deprivation. Okay. So you'll feel in control of your choices and your eating very quickly when you do this. So this is doing a couple things. This is it's really rewiring your brain. It's using your prefrontal cortex to make decisions ahead of time. So you're not just like, oh, there's a piece of cake, I'm gonna eat that. Or there's a French fries, I'm gonna eat that. You're like, no, I've planned what I'm gonna eat for the day, okay? And so we really want to get those neural pathways a deep groove. So that's going to be, you're going to start to trust yourself more. Anyway, there's a whole bunch with that. I can't get into all of it right now. We don't have enough time. So important, be consistent, not perfect. All right. So don't be an asshole to yourself if you've eaten off your protocol. Okay. If you've eaten off your plan or protocol, they're the same thing. Just get right back on it. Don't make it mean that, oh, this isn't going to work for you. This is like always, it just doesn't work. I'm not able to stick to my plan. I can't lose weight. Okay, don't do that. You just get back on it. And it doesn't mean that you've failed, right? You only made a mistake, and mistakes are going to happen. Just put that in your brain right now. Mistakes are going to happen. I'm going to do this and I'm going to make mistakes. Like you guys, I make so many mistakes in a day, so many mistakes, and I don't treat myself badly because of the mistakes that I made. So I want you to, again, plan that for mistakes. They're going to happen, and you only really fail when you give up. So you just don't give up, right? You just keep going. So the key here, you're like, okay, you might be like, okay, so I'm planning my food ahead of time. I'm putting everything I want to eat on it. How am I going to lose weight? We go back to the first step. You only eat when you're hungry, and you stop when you've had enough. Just because you've put it on your plan does not mean that you eat all of the food on your plan. Okay? You only eat that food when you're hungry. So if you've put 8 snacks throughout the day and it's snack time and you're like, am I hungry? No. Okay, I'm not going to eat it. It's that simple. You don't eat it just because it's on your plan. Okay? Only eat when you're hungry and stop when you've had enough. My client the other day, she was just blown away by this. She's like, it's crazy. She's like, I had all of my stuff planned out and I went to go eat because it's in my protocol. And I was like, oh, wait, am I hungry? She's like, I've never thought that before, right? I never asked myself, am I hungry? So it's very powerful. Okay, oopsie daisy. There we go. So mental weight. So remember, right? You're going to make mistakes. The moment you learn to be there for yourself when you do make a mistake, the process of weight loss becomes so much easier. Okay. We need to remove the shame. Okay? So there is nothing wrong with you as a person when you struggle. There isn't. This shouldn't be easy. Life shouldn't be easy. Losing weight shouldn't be easy. Like reaching for our goals shouldn't be easy. Nobody said, hey, this is going to be like, nobody said that. Life's going to be easy, right? It's not the way it is. So there's only something wrong in the choice that you made and the way that you talk to yourself after the decision, right? After you made the decision to eat off protocol. It's not because you made a mistake, right? The only way that it's wrong is if you beat yourself up for it after. So the mistakes you're going to make, or the mistakes that you'll make, will tell you what to work on with your eating and your thinking. I love mistakes, because I'm like, oh, I just need to like work on that, or oh, that's that little block right there. They're like little roadways into ourselves, into who we are and what needs healing and what we can clean up. Okay, so like welcome your mistakes. So my clients get results that last because they made small changes that most people will blow off as not good enough. Okay, so they get lasting results because they changed their thinking. When you think better, you feel better. All right, it's not about going out and like getting all the food out of the pantry and putting all new foods in. Like, that is all external stuff. It doesn't work, right? We need to like go into our thinking and clean that up, and then everything else will clean itself up. I promise. So here are two important questions that I really want you to sit with, right? What can I tell myself after I make a mistake? Okay, you'll tap into your wisdom, like get really quiet, put your hand on your heart, like come up with a really good thought. Like, I'm a good human and I'm getting better at this, right? Whatever your thought is, what can I do after a mistake to get right back on track? These are very personal questions, and I don't have the time, I don't think, to go through them with everybody right now to help you formulate your questions. In our private sessions, I do that. So really, like, permanent weight loss begins with a commitment to be kind to yourself. That's the commitment. Be kind to yourself. Okay, so why life coaching is the answer, right? Like, you've tried everything else. You're doing what you've always done, and you're still getting more of the same. Your thoughts are always the problem, right? Thoughts are always the problem. It's so funny. My son, I think he was 6 at the time, and he has these really deep questions, and I'm like blown away by these questions he asked. He said, what did he say? Mom, how did the world begin? I said, well, like there's a creator, right? Like a creator created the world. He's like, okay. He's like, well, who created the creator? I was like, like, how do you respond with that? And I was like, and I just turned it around. I was like, well, what do you think, Noah? And he's like, no, he's like, how did that, who created the creator? How did it all begin? And he's like, I asked him, you know, what his thoughts were, and he thought, and he looked at me, he's like, I think it all began with a thought. I was just like, and I'm a life coach, and like I study this, and I was like, whoa, that was like so much wisdom coming out of this little human, you know? And so it's true, right? It all begins with a thought, everything. And so everybody has blind spots, and no amount of self-coaching will reveal them. You know, like I am a life coach, and I have 2 coaches, right? Like I have blind spots. We all have blind spots. And, you know, lasting changes, they really require us to invest time and energy into our mental and our physical health. So, you know, I am a very highly trained life and weight loss coach, and I really help my clients get to the root of the problem, and I don't treat the symptoms. That's why we don't go and do all of the external things, right? Like, we get to the root of it. We clean up our thinking. And so at the beginning of the class, I told you I was going to share with you, it starts June 7th. So registration is going to close soon for it. It's a 60-day, I call it, like I said, the weight loss challenge, but it's like you will lose weight in it. You're going to learn a ton of stuff, and you're going to get closer to you, to who you are. So what you're going to learn, it's all in a system. You're going to learn how to eliminate desire so you can achieve your natural weight. I'm going to teach you and give you the templates to create a protocol. You're going to finally put the issue to rest so you can use all of your energy instead of like thinking about food and overeating and your weight to make your amazing life. You're going to have some big shifts in your perspective and in your mindset. You're going to learn the most important thing. You're going to learn how to manage your emotions. Okay, you don't get this in school. And I'm going to tell you that anything we want in life, whether it's to lose weight, to make more money, a marriage, a child, a house, a dress, a car, it's because of the feeling we think it's going to give us, right? We do everything because of a feeling we think we're going to get. And I'm telling you, your feelings are created with your thinking. You can create that feeling before you even have it. And that looks at like the power of manifestation and how we manifest these things. So we dig into that, and that's super fun. So we also create emotions that are going to serve you, and we're going to disassemble some old belief systems that you have and create new ones. So, and you're going to really learn how to create your own joy so you don't need to get it from food. Okay, so I've established a process for losing weight very quickly. So it's funny because some people think, well, that's not safe. Like, we've been fed this lie that it takes time and da da da. It doesn't take time. All it takes is commitment, right? It takes commitment. I'm not putting you on a fast. We're not doing anything like that. It takes commitment to lose weight quickly and dedication. So it's not unhealthy to lose weight quickly, right? What is unhealthy is being overweight. And so losing weight quickly, it simply means that you're getting very efficient at processing your body fat for fuel. You're dining in. I call it, my mentor calls it dining in, right? You're dining in, you're using your fat stores. And I teach you how to do that in a very systematic step-by-step way. Okay, so you're basically using all the food you have on your body, right? By being fat adapted, we help get you fat adapted. So remember that the ultimate distinction that makes weight loss permanent is eliminating desire. So a big part of this program is doing that. So you will learn exactly how to do that, okay? So the first thing you need to do is we establish a protocol and you stick to it no matter what. Again, a protocol is your plan. It's simply what you would eat and when you will eat it. And you have to decide it ahead of time using your prefrontal cortex. We dive deep into feelings and urges and how to process and manage them. And you will learn, this is the important piece. You're going to learn how to keep going when you feel oh my goodness. Sorry about that. When you feel unmotivated and the excitement has worn off, okay? I'm sure you've all experienced that. So are there any questions before I wrap this up? Yes.
You said to reduce carbs, but there's good carbs and bad carbs. So fruit's a good carb.
Yeah.
Vegetables are good carbs.
So when I'm saying it's most like, that's one way. So there's the spectrum, right? Like we don't eliminate foods in this. If you're somebody who is like, you're like, okay, my whole thing is hormonal, we do not cut out fruits or vegetables. If you're like, no, I want to do coming off the flour, coming off the sugar, like balance my hormones, we have a very specific way in which we do it. And I have like food lists and everything to give you that you can choose. Like, I'm not telling you what you can eat or not eat, right? I believe you need to tap into your body and your wisdom. You have that. I can give you the guidelines and all of the coaching support with it and the expertise that I have. But you're absolutely right? Good carbs and bad carbs. Like, it's the flours and the sugars, because we're really looking at insulin levels when we're talking about that. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Is there anybody else who has a question?
I have a question also. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Thank you. So I appreciate the whole thing. It was great. And, you know, do you think this is all possible when someone has, like, I can imagine in a more routine life when you are working, it's more steady, you can do it. But somebody who is, for example, a student or is going to have a baby, like those big ups and downs, how can, how is it manageable with all those stressful, ups and downs?
Yeah, that's a really, really good question. And thank you for asking it. It's all in our thinking, right? And no matter what stage, and especially during those stressful times, that is when coaching is most needed, right? I think it's always needed, but as far as the food protocol and doing like the weight loss coaching, or it's really like the stop overeating coaching, it's applicable like everywhere, especially if you're busy, because it's really simple. It's like it's not complicated. And like if you're pregnant, I don't ever recommend like making it like losing weight, or you know what I mean, just being healthy. But definitely doing mindset coaching around food and body image. I've worked with pregnant women, and it's been very helpful for them. Does that answer your question?
Thank you. Yeah, I think it does. I'm a PhD student, and after giving birth, my son is now 6 years old. It's funny, I got back to the weight I was before pregnancy, like way lower than that. But then, they call it yo-yo. I lost it and I gained it back again, and then another time I lost it and I gained it back again. And now, like, I'm the heaviest of my whole life.
Yeah.
I feel actually better than what I thought I would, because I think it's a part of growing up too. You get more like in peace with your body than when you're younger.
Yeah. Yeah.
But but I'm like, okay, this PhD is stressful, and I agree with you that in this kind of lifestyle you need a coach so you don't just rely on yourself.
Yeah.
And also I want to have another baby, but again, like, I feel like reluctant to lose it again because it will come back again, like what happened to.
So that's just a thought, that there's not even
Yeah,
truth in that.
yeah,
So we don't want to, like, one thing we want to be mindful of is not basing our past experiences on our future outcomes. Okay, so that is just a thought. That's not true. That's not necessarily what will happen. I just wanted to point that out.
yes, thank you. Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
And another thing I wanted to ask is that with all this, with this insulin and other hormone things, I'm getting more and more convinced that one of the best ways to lose it and be sustainable is the keto diet, because you're basically feeling full all the time, and at the same time you're eating fully. This is what I'm hearing from my friends that they are doing it. I just wanted to see what's your stance on it.
Yeah.
And
So being like, keto is becoming fat adapted, right? So it's very useful for when our hormones are out of whack. I think maybe keto works for some people. I don't think it works for many people. And I don't, like, I've seen a lot of people like, go at it, do it, come on, come off, come on, come off. And we don't want to do that. That's like, I don't coach people on how to be keto. I coach you on how to have a healthy body image, balance your hormones, and like stop overeating. So we really hit it from the mindset, right? And you will return to your natural weight without having to do keto, without having to do paleo, without, like, sure, if you're not eating the sugars and the breads, the flours, that's going to drop very quickly, but you're going to need the mind work, the coaching to go along with it, because otherwise you're just going to start back on eating
I
carbs again.
totally understand. I really, like, 100% agree with you. I
Yeah.
was even seeing, I was talking with my therapist. He's a psychodynamist, and it was interesting for me. I really wanted to appreciate what you said, that really think about the feelings. That is exactly what he told me.
Yeah.
Because I said, I I just eat too much healthy. Like, I eat too much healthy. That's my problem. I cook very healthy, and
Mhm.
I just love it and I eat it. So
Mhm.
he said, when you have this urge of going to the fridge and getting it, just wait and see what emotions shows up.
Yeah.
And I wasn't patient enough to do it.
It takes practice. Don't beat yourself up, right? It takes practice, and it takes consistency, and it takes not beating ourselves up when we just go and eat it anyway. Or if like, because for the first little while, what it looks like for people is they'll just like eat something like, oh, I totally forgot to like check in. Like, you know what I mean? Like check in with my food, just because you're not used to doing it. And that's okay. That's not a problem, right?
Totally. Yeah,
You
thank
just,
you.
yeah, you just build that. You build that with like awareness. And like, I am right there with you. Like I have your back. When we're working together in whatever capacity, whether you're in my Facebook groups or you're in one of my programs, like this is the stuff we get over. This is the stuff you bring to your coaching sessions, right?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So, okay, I just want to quickly let you like go over this 3 simple steps, right? To get started. We covered a lot of stuff. Make a plan. Write it down. Do it. Right? And then ask yourself before you eat, am I hungry? And when you're eating, ask yourself, have I had enough? If yes, stop eating. You guys, this is so like, this will get you going, right? These are tools for life. And like, I'm sure you can see how this stuff can transfer over into the rest of your life. And if you can't, go to my website, book a 30-minute call with me. You know, it's free. I have we can have a free like connection call, and I can coach you on that call and you know, see if we're a good fit and if you want to work with me. And if we're a good fit together. So here's my website, and that's the link to the 60-day weight loss challenge. But I promised you, if I remembered, I'm going to stop my screen share, and I'm going to, how do I stop my screen share? Let's see. Oh, there we go. Okay. I'm going to post my Facebook groups in here for you, and I'll even put that link. Groups. Okay, this is the Weight Loss Secrets group. Okay, the PDF, Nasiba. So when you go on the website, a little box pops up, and then you just put your email in there, and then there'll be like a little thing that hits down that you can click download PDF now. I understand that that's a bit confusing, and I'm actually talking to my website developer, and we're switching it so that it just gets emailed to your inbox, but I'm not sure when that's going to happen. Oh, you got it. Okay, great. Okay, so there's the link in the chat to, oh, sorry, I sent it privately. Everyone. Why is it doing that? Okay. Everyone. Perfect. So there's the link. And then also the Confident Woman. That's the new one that I've started. I'm so excited about this group. I love my Weight Loss Secrets one too. I have so much fun in there. The Confident Woman is going to be amazing, and you should join it because I'm going to be announcing like little master classes in there, and like popping on there with like last minute workshops and tons of stuff. There'll be lots of value in there for you. So yeah, that's that. And oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do one more thing to make it super easy for you. I am going to post the 60-day weight loss challenge so you could read about it, and you can just sign up right there if you want. Oh, I don't think I discussed the prices if you're interested. Oh gosh, how much is it? I don't even know. Let me see. Oh yeah. So it's 60 days of group coaching together. So, or 60 days, and we meet once a week. So I think there's 8 sessions of group coaching. We dive deeper than what we dived into here. And it's all like, it's a whole system. And then I'm there to coach you live as well. And you also get a workbook. which creates like, or has your protocol sheets and like your food, like everything. And plus like amazing questions that are going to like help you dive deeper into this work. And that is $397. And there's only a couple spots left for that package plus one-on-one coaching with me. So you also get 8 private one-on-one coaching sessions with me, as well as the weekly group sessions and the workbook. And that's $697. So you can sign up, that link that I posted there, it's both of those options there. So that's that. Oh, and I wanted to also mention that if 100 women sign up for this challenge, I am donating $10,000 to a women's organization that helps like it just, all of the money goes to this organization, and it directly goes to the women that it helps support. So it helps put like food on mama's tables. Like these are all moms, right, who have children, and I just want to help support this organization in a big way. So that's that. So thank you so much for coming here. I know your time is valuable, and it was lovely to connect with all of you.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
Thank you, Michelle.
You're so welcome. Have a beautiful weekend.
Thank you
You
so
too.
much.
Okay.
You too.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.
See you Monday.
See you Monday.
Bye.
Yeah.